A great example of causing chaos to intentionally try to divide and also just to make you choose between the lesser of two evils. This is claiming that Temu has sued Shine in the United States, accusing its rival of violating antitrust laws, blah 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 blah, blah and engaging in other allegedly illegal activity. We're going to get into some of the illegal activity, but first, this says they operate different business models, but they share some things in common. Their products are ultra cheap and their appeal is global. I'll give them that. I agree with that. Full-heartedly agree. Products are ultra cheap and their appeal is global. Are they ethical? No, not even a little bit. What's the controversy? Temu sued Shine in a federal court in Massachusetts, accusing the older company founded in 2012 of strong-arming suppliers into exclusivity agreements to deprive Temu of goods in violation of U.S. antitrust laws. So actually, I wonder, I had never even heard of them until like the last year. So maybe PPD or whatever the fuck bought them out. I'm gonna get into that in a minute. Okay, I also gotta strongly disagree with this. Temu and Shine, most of their products are polyester. Not a whole lot of cotton there. If there was, it would still be incredibly problematic, but I'm realizing just now in this moment that a huge part of my problem is indeed how much polyester it is. PDD Holdings, that's what it is, not PPD, PDD. And actually that's not true. This really isn't very helpful to me right now. This one, though. The report offered a particularly scathing assessment of Temu, saying there is an extremely high risk that Temu's supply chains are contaminated with forced labor. Oh, that's cute. That's awesome. Biggest concern, multiple reports of banking or credit card information being sold or leaked after use on Temu. That's cute. If you want total privacy, it's probably best to steer clear. So, you can go ahead and argue that Apple isn't protecting your privacy either, but are they, like, are there multiple reports of Apple selling or leaking, like just giving it away for all we know, your banking and credit card information? U.S. lawmakers are warning of an extremely high risk that products sold on the Chinese online shopping site Temu have been made with forced labor. On May 3rd, the Select Committee opened initial investigations into Nike, Adidas, Shine, and Temu. These results are shocking. Temu is doing next to nothing to keep its supply chains free from slave labor. Indeed. Forced labor in its supply chain violates labor laws and steals designs from independent artists. Absolutely something that we should be giving all of our money to. Okay, they changed this yesterday. Shine has repeatedly come under fire for poor working conditions, high levels of toxic chemicals in its clothing, copying independent designer items, and mishandling customer data. The environmental impact of Shine is one of the primary issues. Thank you. That's actually pretty exactly what I was looking for here. Finally, an article that I can cherry pick and just get all the information from. Shine manufactures a ton of apparel as a fast fashion company. Much of it's produced from synthetic materials that do not biodegrade. Also, the business's manufacturing and shipping methods could pollute the air and water. I hadn't even thought of that one. I like that. Definitely saving this one. This one is very convenient for the information that I would like to share. And I will finish reading that later. Many also worked without contracts or minimum wage requirements, thereby allowing the company to reportedly fail to pay its employees properly. Channel 4's documentary Inside the Shine Machine sent undercover cameras to film factory workers who were forced to pull 17-hour shifts to make hundreds of garments a day. And how much are they actually paying? Shine is the world's most popular fashion brand at a huge cost to us all. That's cute. 6.3 million tons of carbon dioxide a year. $75-hour shifts. Holy shit. Advocacy groups and journalists also uncovered evidence that Shine's $11 bikinis and $7 crop tops were being made by people working in unsafe workshops, lacking safety protocols like windows and emergency exits. Many also worked without contracts or minimum wage requirements, thereby allowing the company to reportedly fail to pay its employees properly. Channel 4's documentary, Inside the Shine Machine, sent undercover cameras to film factory workers who were forced to pull 17-hour shifts to make hundreds of garments a day. In one factory, they made a daily base salary of $20, which would then be docked by 14 if any garments had mistakes. Okay, let's unpack that just a little bit. That's $6 a day if you make any mistake. And I don't know if you've ever sewn before, but it's almost impossible to get through a project without making a single mistake. I mean, maybe if you've been sewing all your life and you're of a more aged and skilled level, then maybe that's possible. But I've been sewing for, I don't know, a decade or two, and I still mess up every once in a while and have to unstitch or backtrack and stuff. Granted, I've never done it for a living, so I haven't had that much practice, but it's whatever. Like it's not about that. I mean, just wow, like that's $6. Could you imagine going to work you're hungry, you've been working for 17 hours, you're tired, you're stressed, and how do you not? How do you not make a mistake throughout the whole day? Like, how do you not? Um, I've heard in an argument about this, where I brought it up in one of my small business groups, that they were talking about buying the packaging for their businesses from um, Temu and Shine. I don't even remember which. They're both owned by PDD. Um, and I'll get to that next. Thanks for reminding me, self. Train of thought, where were you? Fuck, I should maybe like plan these out a little bit better. Okay, I remember. I don't know how long that took, but go ahead and check out the timestamp. Okay, so anywho, so the small business group, I'm talking about packaging, and I pointed out that this just pointed out, like, I posted a link for an article about the slave labor, and I was surprised and disappointed at how many people um, came up with excuses or justifications, like, well, it's too expensive everywhere else, and this is the cheapest place for it. Um, and I'm sorry, not sorry, but one of the first things that they'll teach you in business school is ethics. Um, for several reasons. One of them being that you need to be responsible for yourself and the shit that you're leaving behind. Another reason is whether it comes out during your startup or 5 or 10 years later. If ever it comes out any kind of ethical scandal, you're done. Um, it's critical to ensure that your supplies and your suppliers are ethically sourced. And not that this was the kind of group and the kind of small business group that it was, but particularly if you're selling drugs. Okay, just some people need to hear that. Make sure it's ethically sourced. If you don't know where it came from, where it was grown, where it was created, what the fuck ever, don't touch it. Okay, definitely don't put your name and your brand on it. Another dumbass justification was, oh, well, we're supporting them. It's not slave labor. It's we're supporting their employment. They need to be working. Okay, do you see this kind of shit that you're supporting though? The more money that you give them, the the more you're supporting that behavior, not the employees, the behavior of their employers. Um, and by not saying anything to them, by not demanding better from them, you're enabling that behavior. You're telling them, hey, not only is it okay, but we're going to pay you to treat your employees this way. Okay, fuck that shit. Please just pause, look at that, check it out, check your behavior. Is that really okay? um, and then just the only other thing that I wanted to touch base on here on this part and unpack is right up here. This part, lacking safety protocols, windows, and emergency exits. That just reminded me of an episode of Black Mirror. I'm gonna have to find it and post it, but um, uh, it's the one where an employee brings her child to work with her in a sweatshop, and the employer decides that she's worried about employees stealing. She's concerned about theft. And so she locks the door so that they can't get out. The mother who brought her kid went to go get her kiddo something to eat, and while she was gone, a fire broke out. The door had been locked to avoid theft, and they died. Like, obviously, this is a fictional TV show, but it is absolutely insane how much the show Black Mirror is a reflection of our society. Intentionally so. Check out that episode and every single other episode. Ashley, too, is another one of my favorites. But anywho. Okay, and so the only other thing that I wanted to do real quick, and then I really, really want to try to get some sleep, Shine and Temu, owned by PDD Holdings, are two of the rising powers in online retail. A growing threat to the likes of, I don't even care what they're a threat to, like that doesn't matter. Two of the rising powers. The more that you support them, the more they, I mean, the more you support them, the bigger they get. And you might have that mindset and that mentality like, oh, I'm only one person. I can't, like, how could I possibly make a difference one way or another? It doesn't matter if I support them or not. Doesn't matter if I vote or not. Doesn't matter if I recycle or not. Like, come the fuck on. Can you please start taking some responsibility for yourself, your actions, for the bullshit that you're leaving behind for your kids and the future generations? Not to mention the people that are here already, and the way that you are saying it's okay for you to be treated like this. It's okay for you to make $6 an hour or $6 a day on a good day for a 17-hour shift, 7 days a week, so that I can have my $7 crop top. Come on, people. Please stop.